Hello and welcome to The Wedding Planner. Now this is our 11th episode, doesn't time fly? And we have with us today Gill, Felixstowe's very own wedding planner. Hello Gill,
Hello.
Thank you for coming. And you've brought a most wonderful guest today. We have with us Kay Lankester from KC, which stands for Kay's Cards. Hello, Kay.
Hello.
Thank you very much for coming today.
It's a pleasure.
Now, today's all about wedding stationery. And actually, there are so many different bits of stationery here. I'm dying to find out just what you need for your wedding, because whatever you need, I think Kay's going to have the answer. Is that right?
I hope so.
Well, Kay, so this looks beautiful, and I do hope everybody can see what you're presenting. But I don't know about you. Well, Jill, you know everything, but me, I don't. And it's true, because you've been right so far on everything. But for stationery, for weddings, is this a different piece for every part of a wedding?
Well, yes, usually.
Right.
Quite often they'll start with they want to save the date. So they send those invitations out first, about a year before the wedding. Make sure you don't book your holidays and miss it.
Oh, and what card would that be then? So this is the very first thing
Yes, that's
that you
the
need
first
to be
thing.
aware
I
of.
haven't actually got one on there, but you could have something to match any of the stationery that's on there. Or sometimes people will have a favourite photograph from somewhere where they were engaged, and you can put the wording partly on that and the rest on the back. A lot of people like to do that.
Now, I'm confused. You're not saying an invitation. You're saying
this is just to save the date for the wedding.
It's quite good if you're having a destination wedding. And obviously you want to plan ahead because you've got to get flights or boats or whatever.
Yes.
So you're asking your wedding party to save that particular day or period of time so that they can travel with you. But it can also be for brides that want to get married in this country and want to be sure that the majority of the people they invite are able to attend, really. So good planning, really.
Is this a standard thing now?
It's becoming more popular. Not every bride, as I'm sure you know,
No.
you'll be able to tell the viewers better than me, has it, and you don't need to have it, but it is something that's available. It's another service in the stationery family that people can have.
So in the steps of everything, this is the first thing.
One.
That's a good one to remember. So, what's the second? And would you keep the same theme once you start? Would it be the same?
Generally, people do.
Yeah.
Generally, you will. You'd have something to match everything, like the ones down the very bottom.
They're pretty. I like those. I love the green.
I know it's slightly different to the normal standard ones.
It is.
It's nice for country weddings, things like that. But you'll then have your proper invitation. Some of them will have everything in, like the RSVP, the menu and a menu choice.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of things in those now as well.
Right. It's a book.
Well, it is. Actually, in this one, if I can take
it is
it
a
out.
book.
Yes, it's like a book, and you just slide them out. And on there you will see there's a wedding invitation, the menu and the hotel.
Oh, right. I wonder if we can look at this close up. What do you think? Can we look at this close up? There we go. I don't know if you can see that, but it's gorgeous. So it says on here, wedding invitation, menu and hotel. Isn't that fantastic? So you open that up and then you've got your menu. And then you've got your hotel.
And
that
then
is really gorgeous, isn't it?
Very clever.
In with that, you have the RSVP, so they can just send it straight back, and the menu choice, whatever they've chosen, they have to fill that in.
Look at that! I've never seen that before. It used to be just one card.
I know.
And then you've got your menu choice. How wonderful is that?
But that's how you can have them, or you can have, like you say, just the one sheet. Sometimes people like the order of service as well. So
beforehand?
Yes.
Gosh.
And then you get the table menus and table numbers. You know, there is quite a few things people require now.
So in a way, that's your second part. But what you're saying, Jill, is true. You've always said people can have any sort of wedding nowadays that they want.
Yes.
Years ago, you had
just
a standard,
yes.
didn't you?
Yeah, that's all we had.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. But Kay, you can do invitations not just for weddings, obviously, but for parties and anniversary
like
parties,
that.
whatever.
Yes.
So anyone that's got an event coming up, they can contact Kay.
Yes.
And you personalise everything for them?
Yes, it's all done from start to finish. There's nothing pre-bought. It's all handmade and printed.
Really?
I do all of it.
Is it handmade?
Yes. Yes.
Goodness. So all the little flowers. Look at this one. It's got a little jewel on it.
Yeah, I put the jewels, or, you know, whether they want a bit of bling or something very plain.
Really? Oh. And are these invitation cards at the back?
The back ones, that's the order of service that goes with that one. There's nothing in it at the moment because there's no, and same as this one.
Oh, but look at that. It's not only got a bow and a flower, it's got these little beads here. It's really stylish.
And that one, I've antiqued the inside as well on the sheets.
Oh, and that is
that's the same. That's to match the other one.
So everything would match?
Yes, everything
generally
would match, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you can see them, but they are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's something you would always keep.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I usually keep mine, that's
Exactly. You are very clever. That is beautiful. So, if you're sending a menu in with your wedding invitation, would you then have the menu again on the day? Would it be that people have forgotten, or...?
You can do, because sometimes they do, and you can just have those on the table just ready for people, and then they'll be saying, oh yes, I remember now. Or sometimes people will like individual menus typed out if they haven't had a choice. You know, sometimes people don't always have a choice, and they can fill, you know, so they're on the table ready.
Trouble is, you can't do it too far ahead, can you? Because people can change their
minds.
minds.
Yes, that's the last thing.
I don't eat beef anymore.
No. That's like, also you then get the little place names. They're done towards the end, like the table plan is, because they don't know who's coming until near the end.
Through the RSVPs.
Yes. So then you do those as well. Those little tiny ones on the front.
Look! Oh, I love that. Look at the little flowers, and it's so in keeping because. You don't know this, but last week we had Debbie here, of Vintage Jewellery, and she was saying very much, and you were saying to her as well, that country weddings are very
vintage weddings in
vintage
general.
weddings.
Yeah, that sort of romantic rose.
So that's very in line with it.
Yes.
Do you know what? Okay, I'm going to say it again. I say it every week. But Felix, though, still amazes me. You're so there. You're up with the fashions, or do you set the fashions?
I wish we could say so, I don't know. But basically what we've always said is you don't need to go further afield. You know, anything that you want planning for your wedding is available in this town. So
local.
And Kay, of course, has approved it again by bringing in, you know, her printing.
And the personal service.
Yeah.
You go to London, they're very polite. I've been to London. I know these things. And everybody is charming and very polite. But what they can't have, because of where they are, is that personal
touch.
Yes, that personal touch and that friendliness that you get when you're somewhere, you know, that's just a little bit smaller.
I think all the people that we've sort of talked about in the programme that have come from Felixstowe, they were obviously willing to liaise with the bride and groom and really give a lot of detail and attention to what they want and work with them, which you might not get in a bigger sort of town or city. So, you know, it's good to have that personalised touch.
I think it's wonderful. I really do. And I was going to say, are you a local girl? But I can hear your accent.
I don't have to say, do I?
No. Local,
yes, I am.
born and bred.
Yes.
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 Fabulous accent, by the way.
Might disagree.
It's a warm accent.
Yes. Yeah.
It's something that, you know, that gives a warmth to what you do. So, no, it's a nice accent.
Can I just, sorry, interrupting you, I just wanted to say, a lot of the people that we showcase, like Kay and Debbie in a previous programme, had their own unique designs. It's their own work. They work very hard at doing it. Unfortunately, in this past week, I've discovered that one of the ladies that we previewed in a different programme, when we talked about customised shoes and things like that, the lady from Great Yarmouth, Victoria Page, just recently someone's been copying her work and putting it on a website as their own. And that's really sad, because obviously people have built up their own collections of things and worked very hard to build up their business. So if we recommend anyone or showcase anyone, please do make sure you get in touch with that individual and don't just go online and put in, you know, wedding invitations, because you might end up being in touch with someone that isn't genuine. And that's not fair on the people that obviously we've showcased.
No, and have worked very hard to do what they do.
Definitely.
And I'm so impressed. The creativity is amazing and all genuine.
Yes.
Not plagiarised, all
not
genuine.
Copied all your own designs and work, and you know you've liaised with the client, so it's very important to state that.
They are gorgeous. Oh, and this is so lovely as well. What's this? Whoops.
That is another order of service that would match the
well,
other.
Look how pretty that
The
is.
order of services can also be given out on the day of the wedding.
Yes.
They don't have to be sent out in advance. It's
no.
up to the bride and groom what they want to do about
and
that.
the writing is in the same colour as the card as well. Just so that all coordinates.
Oh, now look, I don't know if you can see it, but same colour. I mean, how classy is that? And yet the card has a country feel to it, but with a very classy look.
Yeah,
very
but it's
sophisticated.
still quite simple. It's, you know what I mean?
It is, it's
not
gorgeous.
Too showy.
But they stand out, they're lovely. I mean, I personally like the one with the navy blue bow.
Me too. I love that.
That's been quite popular.
Yeah,
that
I'm sure.
one.
Yeah.
I
And
think it's
obviously
because it's got everything in it,
exactly.
which helps.
It just stands out from a distance.
Yes.
It just catches the eye. It's gorgeous.
Yes.
So can you talk us through the card, you know, because now I'm confused. I'm starting my wedding off by sending a card to say of the proposed date, put it in your diary. That's the idea of that. That's a good one. And when that's done, you then have your invitation.
Yes.
You send somebody an invitation, and you can just send them an invitation with a little RSVP at the bottom.
Yes.
Or you can send them a novel,
Yes.
which is your invitation,
Yes.
which I think is fantastic because it gets everything. You're always worried about people replying, what they want to eat, what they want to do. If you can do it all in one go, what a fantastic idea. So you can send their menu, menu choice, which they can fill in, RSVP, order of service, which I suppose is always nice to have.
Yes.
And then you reply to all the bits that a bride would need to know. Or
Can
the
I
bride's
just say also,
family.
wedding planners can take that service on. If a bride doesn't want to receive the RSVPs and log that down, then a wedding planner can come in and do that for her.
Do you know what? That must save an awful lot of trouble and
it's up to the
stress.
individual if they want to do that, but
Yeah.
you know, Kay obviously will make the invitations
yes.
up to, you know, their recommendations, their design, their ideas. But the wedding planner can actually ask to receive the RSVPs and then note them all down and give that to the bride and groom.
I think that's fun. Do you know, I hadn't quite thought of that. That's fantastic because I think one of the most stressful times is knowing who's coming, who you're catering for, you know, how, because everybody's going to be asking you that, aren't they? How many people? Where do they sit? Who's doing
people
this?
change their minds, events happen, that sort of thing.
Yes.
So it's just keeping on top of it, really.
Just to not have to worry about that keeps it That's a good idea. You need a wedding planner.
You need to pay for your invitation.
Yeah, and Jill.
So now we've got the wedding invitation done. What's next?
Well, like you say, the only other thing after the wedding invitations is the order of service, which you don't need till near the end, you know, just on the day, more or less. And you also generally have, when people go into a reception, they'll have the table plan of who's sitting where, so you can type them out for them or make those for them.
You don't do that though, do you?
Yes, we do
you do
that. Yeah.
Oh, so is that the big board that goes up?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you've got
They
a wedding
can get
planner,
their
she
own
will fill it
board.
out.
They can get their own boards. It's only like a picture frame and just pin them in, or, you know, that can be done.
I just wanted to ask Kay a question. I mean, obviously, you're printing a font that's agreeable to the bride and groom.
Yes, yeah.
If people wanted a slightly bigger font, obviously you can do that.
Oh,
I'm just thinking some people, they have guests that are partially sighted or have ailing eyesight and that sort of thing.
Yes.
So maybe not the whole set, but maybe individual cards can be printed with a slightly bigger font for them.
Yes.
And then Kay can talk to the bride about how many of those kind of things she might need to do.
That's a good idea.
Yes,
So,
I have had
similar
to do
with menus and things like that.
Yeah.
Because it's bespoke.
Yes, it can
you
be
can
done.
you can accommodate at all angles.
I have had to do a few slightly different ones before, similar thing to that. Yeah.
So everyone's catered for basically, which is good.
Fantastic. Now I've got to ask you, what was your hardest one to do? Have you had one that was difficult
Not
or
wedding
challenging?
Not wedding stationery,
No.
but I did do a card for somebody once. They'd had a picture taken at a 60th birthday party, and it was outside, and they were been put in a deck chair that was very dipped, and that made their tummy look very large, and they kept calling him Pumpkin Pete.
Oh.
So I sent him a photo, we made the card, and I changed the heads from the birthday man onto the big tummy and put Pete's head on the other gentleman who was 60 and sent it to him to cheer him up, and he thought that was lovely.
Oh.
I was a bit naughty, but
well, it just proves what
you know,
you've
you
done,
can
really,
do.
Yeah.
You can do all
How
sorts.
versatile.
Very
Like to.
bespoke and kind.
Yeah.
Well, it's just wonderful. And if I wanted to contact you, how would I do that?
Well, at the moment, I'm not on the website. I just have the cards, and it's sort of word of mouth at the moment.
But if I wanted to contact you, what would I do?
There is a phone number, isn't there, that you could...
If the phone number wasn't there, I'm going to have to go on the website and start, I think.
Yeah.
But we
Because
have a
at the
phone
moment-
number. Would
Yes,
you
you
like
have got
people
the
to ring you?
Yes, please.
Because I'm
Yes,
sure when they
yes.
see how beautiful,
Yes.
you know, your stationery is, somebody's going to want to ring you.
Yes, I can, you know, I'm having the photos done, so I can always email people with photos, or they
Lovely.
can come round like they generally do and discuss what colours, what sort of card, what, you know, coloured
More
card,
personal,
whatever.
isn't
Yes,
it? Yeah,
I think
I
that's
like
a lot
that.
nicer.
I think that
Yes,
sounds
yeah.
nice. Much better. You can do, I know you can do everything on the internet. I know the internet is wonderful, but it lacks that little ingredient of being personal. And if you want to change something, you can discuss it and work out if that's a good idea or not a good idea. Much better to talk to somebody in person and local. You can't get better than that. Okay, do you know, our time has really gone. Jill, you bring us stunning
Well, I think,
people.
you know,
Thank
I
you.
think it's good for people to know about Kay, because not everyone's got a shop in the high street. You know, Kay and the previous lady that we spoke to, Debbie, last week, they work from home. So you might not know about them. So in programs like this, it's good to showcase the talents and the services that they can offer.
Yes.
So,
And I'd rather come round and sit with you
Yeah.
and choose something
have a
than
cup of
sit in
tea,
the shop.
yes. It's much more fun.
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
thank you so much for coming today, Kay. It's
Thank
been
you
a
very
real
much.
pleasure. Thank you.
you.
And
Thanks.
Jill, as always, stunning. Thank you so much for your help. What
Thank
would we
you.
do without Jill?
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us today. I think it's been a fabulous programme. I hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll put Kay's number up at the end. Do please give her a ring. I'm sure that if you've got any queries, she'll be happy to discuss them with you, won't you?
Thank you.
Yes. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.